So we are glad to have you here for our second day of the 2019 Fall Diversity Forum. And Dr. Yarbrough will talk a little bit later about tomorrow night. So today we have our Green Card Voices. We've been so excited about this. And so I do want to introduce someone who's going to talk more about this event. Her name is Dr. Jenna Cushing-Lugner. And I've met Jenna about 3 years ago. She's a faculty member in the College of Education with me in the C&I department, and amazing faculty member. And she has a really unique way of looking at diversity, equity, and inclusion. So much so, when I took on my interim role, I recommended to the dean that she take over my interim position for diversity in the college. And so just an amazing person when it comes to diversity issues and initiatives. So I'm going to introduce Jenna.
Thanks. All right. Thanks, Dr. Oz. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming out this evening. Hopefully, we keep the snow at bay for the evening. And also, could we do one more big round of applause for our special guests who came from very far away to join us? Okay. So, for this evening, we are going to be, we get kind of a treat of hearing 3 of the authors of a new book. I'm just going to borrow this real quick. Called Green Card Youth Voices, Immigration Stories from Madison and Milwaukee High Schools. It's the most recent publication by the Green Card Voices organization, which I'll tell you a little about in just a minute. This event is a part of a two-part event. So after we're finished today or anytime over the next couple of weeks, I'd like to invite you to head on over to Anderson Library. Well, you'll see in the main part of the library, there's an interactive exhibit that has QR codes and very large images of 3 people you will recognize and about 8 other people who are all authors from this book, and excerpts from their essays, and QR codes that link to videos of their stories. That will be at the Anderson Library until the end of October, and then that'll be moved over to the Lenox Library on the Rock campus in Janesville until the middle of November, November 14th. That's free and open to the public and all students, so if you have friends or families or anybody you know in the area who would like to come on by, bring students, bring kids, bring themselves. The library hours are until like midnight, 2 in the morning, so it's available anytime. So head on over afterwards or stop by the libraries and check those out over the next month. For tonight, I'd like to, first of all, thank the sponsorship and support and efforts of a few people and organizations on campus. The Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion and the Chancellor's Office for making this happen. The College of Education and Professional Studies, the College of Letters and Sciences for sponsoring and supporting this event. Also, the UW-Wisconsin-Whitewater and Rock County Libraries. And specifically, Nate Maddox at Rock County, Dr. Nate Maddox, Dr. Susan Huss-Letterman at UW-Whitewater, and Sorrel Martin over in the Anderson Libraries, who have all been really instrumental in getting this stuff happening. So thank you to all those people. We'll do one more round of applause. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start out by introducing our 3 authors and guests, and then we'll play a short video to talk a little bit about what Green Card Voices is and what they do. We'll have a reading and talk from our authors, and then we'll open it up to discussion and questions. So our authors, I'm actually going to hand you the mics and let you introduce yourselves so everybody can hear your names.
My name is Ana Fernandez Roque.
Hello, everybody. My name is Diksha Gurung. As people call me D because my name is called they don't get it my name, so they basically call me D. I'm good with that. You can call me D too.
And joining us from UW-Platteville is not sound.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
My name is Christine Encarnacion, and I couldn't be there today because of transportation, but Green Card Youth Voices set this up for me so I could still talk today, and I'm really excited to be here.
All right. So thank you and welcome to all of our authors. Quickly, we're going to watch first. A short video about Green Card Voices, the project.
I'm from the Dominican Republic.
Manali, India.
Nairobi, Kenya. I grew up in Honduras.
Somalia, India.
I was born in Nicaragua in 2001. It was really hard to go back to my roots and understand where I came from, especially when you don't have a lot of people like you around yourself.
My sophomore year when I went to that AP World class and I saw nobody looked like me. I was not ready. It was hard.
We moved 3 times during the war because I lived in Baghdad, the capital, which is the most unsafe area that was during my childhood.
If you go outside, you will meet animals, a lion, hyena, or something like that. And when we need to go our bathroom or the food, we have to walk 1,000 miles. We have to sleep at night earlier to not feel hungry.
I lost my dad because of the violence.
When I was in Myanmar, the Buddhist people kill Rohingya people, burn a school, burn our house.
The family where I live now is basically like my family here. Because even if we're not blood related, they treat me like one.
So right now I'm a DJ and music producer.
I'm in the orchestra.
I go to the Academy of Dance.
I want to go into oncology and become an oncologist, help with the issue of childhood cancer.
I want to become a family physician, software engineer,
A neurologist.
A doctor, dentist.
I'm planning to major in electrical engineering and minor in computer science.
I'm going to major in physiological sciences and eventually go on to medical school.
People shouldn't live with themselves based on stereotypes or just because they think they're not socially acceptable.
And I just want to give back to this country that has been amazing to me and make it better.
I really hope that this year, as people who are reading this book, will realize that there's people out there that look like you and that you can do this, regardless of your background.
Just a little more, who are Green Card Voices? So this book is to celebrate the release of their most recent publication, Green Card Youth Voices, Immigrant Stories from Madison and Milwaukee High Schools. We have a copy of this and their other books in our libraries here on campus. And they have several other books that they've put out of youth voices. So one from Minneapolis, Fargo, St. Paul, Atlanta, and they are going to be doing one in Rochester, New York this coming year. Green Card Voices is a Minneapolis-based, so pretty local, nationally growing nonprofit organization that works to record and share first-person narratives of America's immigrants to facilitate a better understanding between immigrants and their communities. So you can see that there are many ways for immigration stories to be shared and told that Green Card Voices does. So they have books, and those are available to be purchased from their websites. They also sell classroom sets for teachers to use. They also have a very active social media presence, and they have exhibits. This is an example of the exhibit that we have in our libraries for the next month, although ours is kind of spread out in a different way. And they have a really great interactive website. And on that website, in addition to different resources, you can also find links to video narratives and video stories by the authors from the different books that they have been putting out. So far, 420 stories are being told through the Green Card Voices programming from 125 different countries. And you can see the way that they're spread out and starting to spread a little more, but it's very regional right now. And this is one of the things that we really love about this. So this is really testament to the power of local stories, of our immigration present. The authors that we have in the book that just came out are stories of youth from Madison and Milwaukee, right? That's right here. It's the story of South Central Wisconsin. It's the story of Wisconsin today and for the future. And local stories are a way for us to understand not only who we are today and where we're going, but also the different places that we each come from. In this most recent book, you can see that the stories that are shared from Madison and Milwaukee authors also represent a wide variety of countries of origins. So the orange countries are the countries of birth for Green Card Youth Voices storytellers who were not born inside of the United States. And the purple colors are the colors of countries that are the residence or nationality country for different authors. So what is the Green Card Youth Voice process? One of the really beautiful things about Green Card Voices projects is that they do something called citizen journalism and citizen authorship. And that means that the voice of the story being told the story that is told from the perspective of the person who lived it, rather than told about a person. And so how does this happen? Green Card Youth Voices partners with a local community. They do a variety of site visits. They record stories. They use video editing to create multimodal, so that means video and sound versions of stories. They transcribe and turn those audio stories and video stories into written versions of essays. Those are reviewed and compiled in a book, which is then launched, like we're a part of right now. And then those stories are shared farther through book readings, exhibits, and other forms of community impact. So this book just came out a couple weeks ago, and there have already been a number of outreach and impact projects happening specifically in Madison and Milwaukee. Also, UW-Oshkosh. We're one of the first locations that has been outside of Madison and Milwaukee to celebrate this new book. And you can see here the part of the recording process. These recordings also turn into the videos that you can find on the website, so you can hear more of these stories on your own. You can see a little bit part of the process here. This is the exhibit that we have in our libraries this month. And we are going to turn over to hear 3 of our authors share with us tonight. So we'll start with Anna.
Hi, thank you for coming today. My name is Ana, and I'm from Mexico, from the state of Puebla. And I just think that it would be nice for me to read a little bit, but also like kind of talk, so not only read. So that's what I'm gonna try. So this book, we is written by us talking, and then everything that we said is like in this book. So it's really cool because it's not. It wasn't rehearsed. That's what I mean. So this is where in the video you can watch me say exactly this. So my life in Mexico was really great. I live with my mom, my dad, and my younger sister. I went to elementary school, so I learned English there because it was bilingual. And then I went to a Catholic secondary school. The girls were separated from the boys, which gave me the opportunity to make deep friendships with girls. All my family lives in Puebla. It was always a family-raised environment for me. So I was always with my family, and I have grown up with the Mexican culture like really deep inside of me. We had a lot of traditions, like for example, every Christmas we went to like pick a Christmas tree and we decorated it. So I have always grown up with my family really close to me. I remember the time that I realized I was coming to the US. My sister and my education is really important to my parents. They wanted to try to send us in a program to either Canada or the US so we could practice English. My parents really wanted to do something different, so my mom found an opportunity for the whole family to come to Wisconsin. She said, "This is a great opportunity because we can all go and you can practice your English." So we went to the embassy and we did a lot of paperwork. And it happened. So that's why I'm here. I remember I was really happy because I really wanted to practice English and learn about a different culture. I came in the summer 4 years ago. So we didn't have school and I was 15 years old. I was really sad to leave my family, but I wasn't thinking about the sadness because I was really excited. Then school started. And I was really thinking that it was going to be like in the movies. I really thought like it was going to be like everybody was going to welcome me with like songs and everything. So yeah, I think that has been the hardest part is to adapt to a different place because I was thinking a lot of like it's going to be perfect and everybody's going to welcome me, but I had to find my own friends. And that was hard for me at first because I was at lunch I was super sad because I was alone and I was trying to find someone. And the moment that I realized that it's a different place and you need to put yourself more out there is when I started to have friends. I have always been excited to be here. But the purpose of being here is only 5 years because my mom is a Spanish teacher here, so it's not forever. But it was supposed to be first only for 1 year that we were gonna be here, and then we could extend it for 5. So as you can see, this is my last year here, and I never really thought. Just now that I realized that I really love it here and I'm gonna really miss it a lot because it has been I think Wisconsin is now a part of me. I think I like to share my story a lot because my story is different. I have learned here that being bilingual, it's amazing. That's why this summer I went to Indonesia to volunteer because it was a program that was amazing for me because I was trying to help the kids learn English, although I'm learning English too, but I was trying to help them. And my hopes after this travel experience is that I can give the best to Wisconsin. When I go back to Mexico, I am going to tell everyone all my experiences here. And I think this experience is amazing for me because now I have a big part of Wisconsin in me. I always try to be nice to everyone, help people that need help with English, and I try to show people the things about Mexico that I love. And that's what I hope for the future, for everyone to realize how amazing it is to get to know different cultures and people, because that has been one of the greatest gifts that I have realized in my life. To get to know different cultures, it's like a gift. So that's my story, and this book is full of many different stories from different places. Thank you.
So next up we have Christine, and just a second, we're going to bring you up. Just a second. Oh, there you are. All right, we're ready for you.
All right, so my name is Christine, if you already forgot. I am from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, which is the capital of the country. So I guess I'll start reading an excerpt of my essay now. I was born in Paterson, New Jersey. After a month of me being born, we went back to the Dominican Republic, which is where both of my parents were born and where it was subsequently where I ended up being raised. Growing up on an island made me feel so lucky. I loved the weather, the culture, the food, and the music. It made me feel so proud to be from the country. I remember waking up every day to the sound of bells from the church and getting ready for school and going to sing the national anthem, which was always something that I looked forward to. I grew up with both of my parents, my brothers, my grandma, and my uncles. I lived right across from my grandma with just a strip of street that separated us, so I would visit her every single day. I also went to church every day of my life, so religion was very important to me growing up. And it's also something that I identify myself with when I consider myself a Dominican. My life in Dominican Republic was one that I think shaped me into the person that I am now. I came from a very humble beginning. Even when we never had enough money, my parents never made me feel like that I lacked anything. They always did everything for me to feel like I had the entire world. I remember one time in a very tiny apartment, we had giant pieces of wood, and my dad and I decided to make a rocket. We stacked pieces of wood in the hallway, and we sat on them and put hamper baskets over our heads like we were astronauts. That's one of the most memorable things that I know. I remember my mom telling me there was a chance we might move to the United States, but it was never confirmed, so I never really thought about it. I honestly thought that was never going to happen. My dad had actually ended up working in the United States for a year because he got a job opportunity. So then one day after I came home, I saw that he sent me and my brother some brand new suitcases out of nowhere. I remember I had a tiny pink suitcase. I asked what it was for, and my mom said we were moving to America. And I remember I was screaming so loud that I was so excited. I remember telling all of my friends and all of my teachers that I was going to learn English and that I was moving. The only places I knew in America were New York or Washington, so I told them I was moving to Washington, even though that wasn't true. I was so excited to move. I remember my mom telling me that we were going to be away from my grandma and that we might just visit over the summer. Obviously, I was not ready for that, but I was still so excited. Since I was only 9, there wasn't much that I was giving up to come to the United States. I gave up my country and being able to go to high school there, but mostly I gave up seeing most of my family. So in terms of going back to the Dominican Republic, I hope to go before I go to college just to see my grandma again. Unfortunately, she passed away in 2014, but before she passed, she had built a church because she was the pastor of a church, so that's something that I would really love to go see. Fast forward, we ended up moving to America on Christmas Day. So before we left, I remember we got my grandma a Christmas tree, and my grandma gave me a pink watch. She told me to be careful, and we went to the airport. I fell asleep the entire plane ride, but when I got off, I saw snow for the first time. I remember always seeing snow on the TV, and since it doesn't snow in Dominican Republic, I was thinking, like, what is this? When I touched it and I saw it dissolve in my hands, I was so shocked. Since it was Christmas, it was also really nice. When I first moved to America, I had moved to Pennsylvania. When we arrived, my dad had already had a house rented since he was already living there. So when we got there, I was excited because our house was much bigger than our apartment in Dominican Republic. So then soon after settling in, which took like 2 months, I started school late. My class already knew that they were getting a foreign student. My teacher had asked my parents about things that I liked, and they said things such as sunflowers, because my grandma always had sunflowers and I loved them. And they mentioned things also like my favorite food and everything. So when I got to school, I remember these kids drew sunflowers for me, and that was something that I never expected, and it was so nice of them to do. They were also all interested about my life and how it was like moving from Dominican Republic to America. And that was the moment where I noticed that I was different because they were all talking about my hair. At the time, I had very long, thick, curly hair, and they were all like pulling it and asking me how I straightened it and all these questions, and that's when I realized, like, I'm gonna stand out. So then, after living in Pennsylvania, I lived there for about 5 to 6 years, and then my dad ended up getting a job in Mexico. So we moved to Mexico, which honestly felt like the same experience again, with a different culture, new food, new everything. We had only ended up living there for about a year until we decided to move back to America, which we ended up in Madison, Wisconsin. And one of the biggest things that I realized when I first moved to Madison was that there were so many opportunities there for me. When I was in Mexico, I limited myself a lot. I was a completely different person, and it had more to do with my personal growth than in the country. After I moved back, I felt like I was back in the same position I was years ago, and then that's when I was like, I have so much potential, and I decided to join robotics clubs. I decided to join cyber security clubs because that's something that I was always interested in, but I always felt intimidated because it is a male-dominated field, and I am a woman of color. But now I'm at UW-Platteville studying electrical engineering with a minor in computer science, like I said in the video, which is still really challenging for me at the time because I do attend a predominantly white institution. So there's a big lack of women, but even bigger lack of women of color. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I don't know if you can hear us, but we're clapping and laughing. Okay. And finally.
Good afternoon to you all, and thanks for coming. I'm really happy to be here. I just wanted to say this. You guys might going to get a hard time to understand me, but I will try my best to explain to you all, because English is not my first language. It's my like a fourth language. I speak different languages, so I will try my best. So, like I said, my name is Dexia. You can call me D. I will try to not cry because it's not easy to talk about my past life, like how my childhood was, like, you know. It's not really easy to talk about it, but I'm happy to share with you guys. And I'm just gonna read my book, and I will talk to. My life was difficult when I was a childhood. I grew up mostly in India, and there I lived with my mother and stepdad, and it was really difficult for me because they didn't love me. That's true. I can honestly say that. What I want most was for them to love me, and I was never sure how to make that happen. I had to take care of my two step-sisters. I didn't go to the school anymore after I was 10 years old. That part of my life was really difficult for many reasons. My mom and my stepdad are alcoholics. I was basically mentally abused. My stepdad always told me I am the child without father, and it made me really sad. Sometimes I would cry, and I thought I don't have anyone. Nobody. I always thought nobody loves me. I even tried to kill myself. That's true. Many times I tried to kill myself, and that didn't happen to me. I don't know why. I always work really hard because I had to take care of my two sisters. When my mom first got married, his baby, he didn't care about me anymore. I just want to talk about this more. I used to live with my parents, like on my dad and my mom and my brother. I have one brother and me, and I have one sister right now. She's my step sister, but I don't call her step sister because she is. I call her my sister, and then I really don't remember, but my mom used to say that when I was like 3 years, and my brother, I think he was 5 years old, more than 5 years, I don't know. and then they somehow my mom and my dad, they separate. My mom took me, and my mom went somewhere. But my dad, he always tried to get me, but it didn't happen. And after that, after a few years, my mom got married with my sister, my stepdad. And at the first time, my stepdad used to love me, like, he loved me, he take care of me like his child, his daughter. But after he had like one kid, when we got my stepsister, after that he stopped loving me, and he just did basically like did always drunk, and then he abused me, like it was really difficult, and then I also work really hard. I thought nobody loves me. I even tried to kill myself. I also, because I had to take care of my two sisters. Right now, I'm living with my biological mother. She's more than my mom, and with my brother, and with my sister-in-law, and my grandmom, and my dad. I have a small and happy family. I can say that now. It's been almost 3 years we moved from Nepal. I came Nepal when I was 10 years old, and I started going in school. That was my first day. I can say that. I was 10 years old, and I started in grade 1, and then people laugh at me. They make fun of me. Like I went class, and then there was a lot of kids, they're mostly younger than me. And then there was one girl, and she looked at me, and she said, like, "Oh, I think you shouldn't be here. You should be in class 5 or 6. And I was like, "No, I'm here. I'm just studying." Like, it was really challenging for me to starting in school, because people just make fun of me because I was too little bit old. But I just want to say that education never going to say you are big or small, because all I want was education. But my mom and my brother told me, "Don't worry about people, just keep going in school, work hard." And then that's what I did. I didn't listen to people. I just ignored them. One time, I think I was sitting outside, and then some my friend came to me. It was I'm talking about when I was in India, and she said, like, "Can I tell you something?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then she said, like, "Your father is here." I was like, I was like, "What, really?" Because like what I thought was like, my mom always told me that I don't have father. So I thought that's true. So I don't have father. That's what I thought. But there was one girl. She came up me, like, she said, like, "Your father is here, and he wants to talk to you." And I was like, "That's not true." And then my dad came to me and talked to me. That was my relatives. I call him my brother. He did this. He did to me, like, he grabbed my hand. I was like, I bite him, and I run away from him because I don't know them. Like, who the heck are you? I don't know you guys. Like, and then I mean, I never saw them like before. I don't even know if I have a father or like. And then I went somewhere to hide, and then and my mom was she was cleaning. I was like outside, I think, she was doing something, and then I saw my mom. She was crying. When my mom saw to my father, they was crying. I was like, oh my gosh, she been lying to me. I knew that time I had dad, and then and my dad told me, and I'm going to take you with me, let's go. I was like, no, I can't go, because before that, I asked my mom, is that my real father? And she said yes. So I wasn't ready to move with my dad, because I mostly grew up with my stepdad, but it was really difficult for me. And then I decide, like, I just wanna say, like, to the parents, what your child wants is like love and care, and be there when they need you. And then I decide myself, I just wanna go with my dad if he wants to give me a new life or education. If he wants to take care of me, I can go. I say, like, I move with my dad. But I still remember that day. My mom and my stepdad was drunk, and then we was sleeping. We was poor. We was really poor. They wasn't able to provide clothes for us. We was three sisters, like I say, like I had my step sister and me, but I really work hard for them. I try my best to take care of them. It's really hard to have parents who drinks alcohol and fights every day, every single day. My life was really danger, like, I didn't even know when I'm gonna be die. And then I still remember that day we was sleeping, and then my mom and my stepdad, they got fight, and they argue about something, I don't know. But I was little kid, I was small that time. My stepdad tried to burn us, kill us. And I begged him, like, I basically cry in front of him. I did this, please don't do this, please don't kill us. Because he almost burned us. And just not that, like, that's not the only day he tried to kill us, like, every time, every day, like, and I left my mom when I was 10 years old, and I came to Nepal, and I started my new life, and I wasn't able to talk with my mom and my sisters, and after, I think, after the almost 10 years, I tried to reach out to contact with my mom to talk to her, because I always say that I thought I'm never gonna love her. I thought I'm never gonna talk about her, but somehow I feel love for her, and then I try to talk with her, and then somehow I got called from India, because the place is really poor. When I was there, like, we didn't even have the phone, but right now they have phones. They can call us, like, and then first thing I asked them, where is my mom? I just want to talk to her. And then my uncle, he said, I will try to bring her. And then but they was hiding something from me, and I was keep asking them, like, I just want to talk to her. What's going on? I just want to talk to her. I keep saying them like this, and then here, and finally they said this. Here is the thing. I don't know. They told me that I don't know if you are able to listen, or if you're able to listen this thing. I was like, whatever. I just wanna listen. Whatever. Just tell me. And then my uncle, he told me my mom was passed, like he said like, it's been 5 years, your mom is gone. And then I couldn't believe that, because she was pretty young, like she was 38. Like, that's not the time to die. Like, I was like, how come? I thought I'm going to talk with mom. I thought I'm going to hug her. I thought I'm going to love her. And then he said like, your mom is not more. Like, it's been 5 years. Like, I was in a living room. There wasn't anyone. Like, there was my dad, and he was in his room. I cried a lot that time. I couldn't believe that, because when I hear the news, I was like, oh, because I thought I'm going to be able to take care of her, talk to her, but the time never come up. But I still love my two sisters, even though they're my step-sisters. And sometimes when I realize like I don't have mom, like a real mom, it hurt me. I mean, like, most people can see me, I'm happy outside. But like, I cry myself a lot when I realize that I don't have mom. But still I have a biological mom, but she loves me a lot, and that's really great. Tonight, I just want to say to all parents, please make your children that they have a parents. Please be there when they need you. Please take care of them. If your child telling you something, please listen. Whatever you're doing, stop doing that. Just listen to them and just love them. I mean, I can see like we're a lot of young, like youth. We have lots of youth. We never know. We might gonna be in the future. We might gonna be a stepmom or stepdad. Please, I just want to say this. Please, if you become a stepmom or dad, please love your children or stepchildren. Love them like your child. And if you guys wants to know more about my life, or we have book, also you can read. But I don't know how much I explained, but thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, so how much time do we have for discussion and questions? Okay, so we have time for conversation, discussion, and questions. Anna, Christine, if you can unmute yourself so you can pop in whenever, but also if there's something you want to say, if you could just wave so I notice that you want to speak too, in case, because you're not here present, right? So what we're going to do first is we're actually going to just take about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. I'm going to ask you to turn to the people around you, even if you're strangers. So maybe 2, 3, 4 people, turn and talk to each other just for a minute and a half. Tell each other what your name is, and then talk a little bit about something that struck you, that stuck with you, or something you'd like to talk to the panel about, the authors about, ask them. So we'll just take about a minute and a half right now. If you are leaving, please be quiet while you walk out so people can hear each other. Thank you.
All right, we want to make sure that we give our panelists ample amount of time to answer questions. So if you are exiting, please exit quietly because we still want to give respect to our panelists. And so I'll ask the first question, and I want to ask this to Christine.
Yes.
So there is this stigma about when you are different and different cultures have different ways of hair care. So you mentioned that hair care.
Oh, hair?
Yes. And so how has that impacted you when people would just randomly come and talk to you or start touching your hair without your permission?
Personally, I really dislike when people come up to me and decide to touch my hair because it's different. My hair is really high maintenance, and I put a lot of time into pulling it out, picking it, using the products, whatever, because curly hair products are not cheap. So I hate when people, especially here, a lot of people decide to come up to me and decide to pull it and ask me if I'm black and ask me if I'm Latina and ask me all these things, and it's so fluffy and whatnot. But I think everyone should know it's kind of disrespectful, and you should definitely ask someone if you want to touch their hair.
Thank you. So questions for our panelists. I'm on this side and Jenna is on that side, so all you gotta do is raise your hand and there's one.
What would you guys say was the most difficult part of your transition to the U.S.? I heard like a lot of positives, but I know that it's not always easy.
For me, the hardest part is that I compared everything. So I compare how my friends that I had, how I felt, like the weather, everything. And it was really like at first I was here, but I was always thinking about like, oh, I would love to be with my friends over there. I would love to be with my family. I don't like the weather and everything. And the school, I was like, oh, it's gonna be the same. Like, because where I lived, people look for you. Like if you come from a different place, they come looking for you. But here, I realized it's different. You have to put yourself out there. So for me, the hardest thing was like comparing everything to my country. At the moment that I stopped comparing everything, it's when I started to be super happy here. Like when I stopped saying, "Oh, my friends there, my friends here," and I just started to make friends here, and stop comparing and seeing the beauty of both places.
I think you asked like, it was difficult when we moved here. Yes, it was really difficult for me because like the food that we eat. When I enter to my sister's house, it smells really bad. You're like, everywhere, like yeah. I mean, like the smell was really weird, and I was like, what did you cook? Like, and then when we was in the airport, it was really difficult because we used to speak Nepali, so we are Nepali people, so like we didn't use much English, so like it was really difficult for me. I can see like where I didn't even know where should I go bathroom, and if I wish I can at that time, if I speak like this much English probably I can ask people like, do you know where is the bathroom, but like I couldn't get it. Like it was really difficult, I think. And then I didn't like the weather. It's really cold. Yeah, it was my first time when I saw snow. It was like I never saw in my life snow before. I saw when I moved to the medicine. I can say it was difficult because of the language. But now I'm happy. I can talk a little bit in English.
Christine, do you have anything you wanted to add? Oh, you're muted.
I can't hear. They're talking to me.
Oh, did you want to add anything to the? Can you hear me?
I can't.
Oh,
did you want to add
anything to? Oh, what was your question again?
What was the question?
Part of her transition to the United States? What was the most difficult part of your transition to the United States?
For me, it was definitely adjusting to the weather, because I did come from a Caribbean island, and then I had to adjust quickly to snow and cold temperature, especially here when I moved to Wisconsin. It was still really hard. And also just learning English. I remember I had some teachers that were really rude to me in elementary school because I was always scared to speak English. Like I never talked at all. And they would force me out of my comfort zone. I remember one time this teacher made a comment like, "We speak English here. Like you're gonna have to talk or get out of my classroom." So then things like that, when people just couldn't understand how hard it was for me, was also really difficult.
Thank you. Thank you. Other questions? And it doesn't have to be your question. It could be something came up in the group or something that one of the panelists said that really hit home for you that you'll remember when you leave today. You'd like to share with them as a way of thanks. Yeah.
I think I don't have a question, but I just kind of wanted to say, like, all of your stories were just so inspiring, and I know you guys probably have been told this before because this probably isn't like the first time you've done this, but I just really hope you all know how powerful and brave you all are, and you all should be really, really proud of yourselves. And like Dee, your story, when you talked about like alcoholism in the family and not feeling like you had like a mom or a dad, it was just very powerful because I kind of connected with you on those things, and I just really want you to know that you're so brave and and I just really hope that you're proud of yourself and you know that you're really special. So thank you.
She was sharing gratitude.
What?
She was sharing gratitude. I'll tell you her.
Oh, okay.
No, we're fine. We're fine.
Other questions? Anybody else have any other questions?
It's muted, like I can't hear anything.
We're just taking other questions.
Hi, my name is Strahinja. I'm also an immigrant. I'm from Serbia, but I came here when I was really young, so my experience is a little bit different from all three of you. I just wanted to know maybe if you had people from the same culture as you who lived here in America, and whether or not that made your experience a little bit easier. And if you didn't, do you think it would have made it a little bit easier if you had friends who were from the same country?
I can say I have friends from same country, but I go to the Memorial High School, so.
Could you repeat the first part?
So like I really don't have friends there because all of them goes West High School. So I have like friends Spanish speaker, like kind of like that, but and you know I don't have Nepali people friends, but I do have from my country, like relatives, my family, kind of that. But I don't have friends in any school. I can say that.
Well, so since Mexico is next to this country, I have a lot of Mexican friends. And actually, before coming here, I went to a Mexican restaurant. So I think I am really lucky because there's a lot of things from Mexico here. I even have you watched the movie Coco? Even watching the movie makes me so happy. I love, I don't know, I love meeting people from Mexico. I work in Target too, and every time I see someone from Mexico, I get so happy. I love it. So I think I'm really lucky that I have friends from Mexico here.
So Christina, the question was, do you have any friends or any people from Dominica that are around you that you still keep in contact with?
That I met when I first came.
Yes.
When I first moved, it was Dominican Republic, by the way, not Dominica.
Sorry about that.
When I first moved to America, I did not meet any people from Dominican Republic, but I did meet a lot of Spanish-speaking students, which definitely helped me drastically because I had people that I could relate to. I also had a lot of translators for me throughout elementary school, which is also really helpful. It wasn't until my freshman year of high school where I met some Dominican friends, like my friend Yancy, who's also in the book. He immediately knew I was Dominican when he first looked at me. He came up to me, he was like, "You're Dominican?" And then we became friends, and we're still really good friends till today. But up until that high school point, I didn't meet anyone from my country. But it definitely would have helped. I'm assuming we could talk about, if we lived in the same places and stuff. Thank you.
I would just like to know what kind of English language programs you guys have been through that helped you learn English through your education.
Well, I am really lucky because I learned before. But even though I learned before, I thought when I will come here, I will speak perfect, and I realized no. So I'm still learning every single day. I learn new things. But I love my high school because every teacher has been so nice to me. They always help me. I think that helped me a lot. My teachers and working in Target has helped me a lot because I am forced to speak English. I have to do it. So when coming here, I think it's like being in a country where they speak a language, you have to be forced to speak it. So I think for me, my teachers have helped me a lot.
Thanks for questions. I don't have any program. I talk myself to practice English because I have to speak. I have to able to do things when I was new, in here, my brother-in-law, he or a lot of people, they helped me out with going shopping, buying things, but I talk most of the time. I talk myself. I talk with friends. It helped us to learn more, but I'm still learning. I mean, as you can see, I have an action in my language, in English, but I'm still learning. I just wanna say, don't give up. keep it up myself. Yeah, I'm still learning. I don't have any program.
Yeah, I did take ESL throughout my entire elementary school years, which definitely helped me a lot. And I think because I moved to America when I was around 9, it was much easier for me to learn English faster because I was in elementary school. I think it's definitely harder to learn once you're out of that middle school. It's definitely harder to learn the language. Also, my dad, since he had already lived in America for a year, he knew English more than I did. So he was always after school telling me, he was practicing with me all the time. And my parents would actually buy me workbooks so that I could practice my English some more after school. So that definitely helped me to get to where I am now.
Hi, I deal with immigration cases here at Whitewater, mainly for faculty. So I was wondering if any of you have a special story about how hard it was, the paperwork or whatever immigration process you went through. It sounds like you might have had different circumstances, but anyway, thanks.
I can't hear you.
No, it's me. Me.
If I had any experiences? For me, no, because. Oh, wait, sorry. Was I not supposed to go? Since I was born in America, I was born in New Jersey. My parents took me to Dominican Republic when I was 2 months old. So I was already an American citizen, so I didn't really experience like harder consequences of like being an immigrant, you know, or like the full, because I was an American citizen and I moved.
For me, it's like super different because my mom is a teacher, so she applied to a program that is called Unity or something like, I don't remember the name, but it's like a program where they take people from different places to teach in different countries as in bilingual immersion. So my mom applied to that, and then like you have to do a lot of things. You have to transfer your like translate your transcripts from your university, and they have to see it. You have to then if you're already like in that program, then you can have interviews with the school district. So my mom had like an Skype interview with the Madison Metropolitan School District, and then if they accept you, you can go then to the embassy, and in the embassy like they have to say yes or no. If they say no, it doesn't matter like who says yes, they have the last word. So then we went to like an appointment. You have to show them all for example, us, we had to show them ties that linked us to our country, so they knew that we were not gonna stay here. So we should you have to show them that you have a home or like your bank things, like a lot of things. Then he said yes, so they give you like a time frame where you can come, and then we have to go back. And the nice thing about it is I'm like a resident, so I can also work. So, but you also have to apply for like a work permit and pay like taxes like everyone. And it's just like being this difference, I think, between a resident and a citizen. It's like voting and that thing, but it's a long process, but definitely like worth it because it's a really cool experience, but it's hard.
Thanks for asking us. For me, it's really difficult. It was difficult for us, like for our family, because we have to have like this much documents, paperwork. So it was really difficult, and to collect the paper or the documents, I believe Jesus. I started going to church when I think since 2013, and we had a peer group. We pray together, and we started praying, and I believe it's a miracle. Jesus worked through us. Yeah, and then we didn't have the paperwork and documents. Somehow my dad was able to collect them, and then they need every single thing, the information, the documents, and we all give it to them. And that was when it took us to process, to come here, almost 5 years. After five years, we came here, but it took a lot of time to get here. But thanks to the Lord, we finally came here and to see you all, guys. Thank you.
Any final question? You got one somewhere? Oh.
I just wanted to say to Dee, thank you for sharing your story. I know it was very tough for you. I've had personal experiences that relate to it, and some of the educational experiences that you went through, I have also been through, because I'm technically been going to school for longer periods of time, didn't graduate on time. Due to some learning disabilities. So I really appreciate your story. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We love you. Yeah, we love you. So yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for be here. Thank you. Thank you. I can pray for you. So yeah, education doesn't say you were young, you were old. It's all up to us. We need to have the power to learn. I just want to say ignore the people who ever talk about you. Just ignore them and do things what makes you happy.
Thank you.
All right. All right, so we're gonna thank these ladies again for coming, sharing their stories and amazing work with us. And thank you, Jana, for your insight, and LNS and College of Ed. So tomorrow night is our last night of our fall forum. We're gonna be back in the UC 275 at 5:15. The forensics team will do a performance. And then we will have our, we're going to continue with telling our stories. We have a video of several faculty and staff and students on campus. And then we have a panel discussion, more food. So please come out tomorrow night. Thank you.